like when I spoke on the tags, the gate top killers, I mentioned Chino, I mentioned Astro. You know, I should have also mentioned like Jew, who was Two Rage, Heck Knows, Sue, Louis, Rule, Fame.
So many.
Who else? Who else is a gate top killer? These dudes from the Bronx, Wed, Rec, and CeeLo. They were like gate top killers. JP dot.
Oni.
Oh my God, Oni. JP was ill. He was ill, son. His tags were like the illest. Chase and Abuse, like there was so many, you know what I'm saying, that killed it doing that shit.
Every area had.
Oh my God, like the top of the gates where the hexagon is, where the gate rolls into.
Yeah.
Tabe, TFT had the top of every one of them shits back in the day. So we got to mention niggas like him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not forget the most elite of all time. Like these niggas I seen since I was a little baby. Cause my whole family, when they moved out here, like a lot of them moved to Spanish Harlem and Brooklyn. So, when I was in Spanish Harlem and we used to be out there, like my family had whip early. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people's families didn't have cars back in the 80s and the 90s, in the early 90s and shit. My father did. He had the big fucking Buick station wagon and shit. That shit was like a fucking long ass boat, nigga. You turn a block, nigga. That shit was huge, nigga. Yo, we be in the back of that shit, me and my sisters. Yo, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
The big wooden shit.
Land Sharks.
He had that shit. Yo, Jazz and motherfucking Easy. They are the kings of just, they had shit all over the place,
Josh
dude.
5.
And Josh 5 too. But Jaz and Easy, I would see Jaz tags that he did himself before he passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw them just as a kid.
I was catching flicks of Jaz 88 shit in fucking 2000 on McDonald's.
That's what was ill about Graph 2 back then. Like all the way up until like let's say like 2000 and
2000 early 2000.
A lot of shit lasted all the way from like the 80s. And the 70s. Like it was still in the streets. 86. The gates were still cooked. A lot of walls were still cooked. So you got to witness all this shit in real time and see a lot of that shit still living. You know what I'm saying? Like, and them niggas had it on Smash. Like, to them days, like, they still had shit. You know what I'm saying? FIFA 2. But FIFA was more like sneaky tags. You know what I'm saying? But, like, the big boom in your face shits is all the niggas that I just mentioned. And there's probably a few more that's not coming to mind right now, but...
There's way too many. Way too many.
Those were, like, the primary... The usual suspects of that shit. Damn, it's fucking Velcro.
Out here, Fritz and Vin had heavy shit.
Fritz and Fritz. There was some nigga out here that wrote Raw Lover.
Yeah, Raw Lover. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I like this tag. This shit was fire.
Lover.
Raw Lover.
With the hook R's.
Yeah, whoop. That's the old school shit I was talking about. The R that comes in like that.
Yep.
Who else is from out here on this side of town that used to kill shit?
Thousands.
And when it comes to fillings,
thousands.
We gotta mention people like I ain't gonna lie, Rebel was one of them, like with the dope ass new fillings. Scuff, obviously, I always mention him. We got to talk the Bronx niggas, Mate, DFA, Sabe, KST. Cynic is one I was going to mention. Cynic and RN.
Yeah, RN, absolutely.
Both of them together. Like, them niggas had ill fillings. I'm talking about niggas that was, like, really running around, like, getting up crazy. All the adult DFA, oh, my goodness. That shit was crazy. There's these niggas from the Bronx. A lot of people don't know about them because they're from the 80s. They're called Nex and 3B. Look them up. Like, when you saw Spec, my heart, rest in peace, he used to do, like, the question mark inside of his shit and put the border inside of the question mark. He got that from Nex and 3B. Like, these motherfuckers had fillings that were just fucking futuristic back then.
He used to do the K with the razor blade, too.
Yeah. He did all that. He was ahead of his time. Rest in peace to Spec. Ahead of his time. He died at, like, 19. You know what I'm saying? Dude, the gun violence and shit. He was, like, one of the first, like, murders in graffiti. But he was like, if you look at him at what he was doing back then, and we was too young to notice it because we were kids, you know what I'm saying? We was like 17, 18, 19 and shit. And I look back at it now as a adult and I'm like, damn, where would he have been right now? Like, what would he have been doing? He would have either stopped, but if he would have kept going with graffiti, bruh, he would have been on another level. Because what he was doing then at that age was so fucking amazing. And he was killing shit. And he was fucking niggas up, too. Like, his hands was amazing. Like, he was just fucking up grown men. And like, he was an ill motherfucker, dude. You know what I'm saying? Left-handed, Aquarius. You know what I mean? It's my nigga right there, my heart. But he was one of the ill ones. Just throwing that in there. But, I just had to let some of that off because, you know, people were complaining to me about certain like shit. Like, yo, why didn't you mention this person? Why didn't you mention that?
You can't mention
And I'm like, yo,
everybody.
these niggas don't understand. Like, bro, I'm not here to talk about the history of graffiti. People are I'm up here. Y'all asked me, Rebel asked me to come up here to ask me about my history and why I got into this, why I got into gear and graph, why I'm into sneakers and shit like that. It's not for me. And like, yeah, we're gonna talk about some graph and shit because it's part of our life.
Customary.
It's part of our shit. But I'm not here to tell you the whole history of the graffiti from the fucking 80s to the 2000s. Like, nigga, come on, son. That's a whole nother discussion. You know what I'm saying?
But let someone else tell that.
Exactly. Let somebody else tell that. I'm not here for. I'm gonna give you tidbits of the shit that influenced me and inspired me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not here to tell you the whole story of graffiti in back in the days and shit. And niggas just, that's how they look at it. Like, niggas is mad. Like, I don't know. Niggas be bugging out sometimes. They're like, yo, why did you mention this person? And why did you talk about this shit? And like, my nigga, this shit wasn't about that, bro. Like, I'm not here to talk about all that shit. I'm here to just tell you about a story of my, oh shit, I went racking. I was in Woodbury. We almost got popped. I racked a few North Faces. And you know what I'm saying? This is how I got this North Face and that. Like, I'm here to tell you that story. I'm not here to go into like all this other shit and tell you the whole history of boosting and graffiti and all that shit. I can't tell you everyone's story. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't there for all this shit since the 80s and all this shit. I know about a lot of shit, but I don't know everything. I know a lot of shit though. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know everything. And I don't like to tell other people's stories too much. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to big up niggas and shit that
They get mad when you tell that story.
it's
too.
stupid though because I'm trying to like inspire. Yo, matter of fact, we gonna go into this. I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck all that. I was racking. Like I've been racking, but the niggas that really put me on to like loot racking and shit like that, making bread off of it. K1. We gonna shout out K1 the Hindu. You know what I'm saying? Like he was definitely one of the niggas that was getting busy with racking back then. You know what I'm saying? Like especially getting money off of it and putting niggas on to like new scams and schemes. Rebels out here with a P-wing hat. You know what I'm saying? We got some motherfucking American accents on the table. Indian Spice, Summer Squash. Come on, son. We got a fucking Colonial Red in the building, son. Come on. Country Cream Wood Saver. Y'all niggas know what this is. All the legendary niggas that you love from the bombing game, like this is the shit that they used to use. You know what I'm saying? These are the cans right here that did all the damage to New York City. What's so good about Wood Saver?
Made with Teflon.
Yeah, it was just the best paint. It was strong as
fuck.
fuck.
Bomb in the rain with that, and your paint wouldn't drip.
Like fillings were solid, crispy, clean lines.
It's like
that
writing
were thick.
with spray glue.
Yeah, it was all like the best shit. And then the colors that American Accents made was just ill, like Indian Spice. Summer Squash was the beat. Everybody claims this. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe it. J.A. was like the first one to do a border.
J.A. and J.D. D-line.
Yeah, and he 100%. Did it with a Summer Squash, and that shit became a thing in the Bronx.
100%.
Bronx niggas took over that, and they was the kings of fucking the funky ass colors and just doing weird bugged out colors with fillings and
shit. The best part for me with the accents was when you were bombing truck yards or trains, you'd use that because that paint was flat. And then you'd use the Wood Saver for the outline, so you had the gloss outline on the flat colors.
Yeah.
And the Wood Saver would never drip, and the fucking accents covered like perfectly.
Yeah.